All right, everybody. I think we are live. Hello there. Good morning on a um, sunny fall Monday. Thank you for joining me today. If you don't know me, I'm Kim Feeney. I'm a licensed independent social worker and a registered play therapist supervisor. And I help children and families to lead healthier emotional lives so they can cope with big, baffling emotions. And I'm here today to talk about teenagers and issues they face, especially with going back to school. Teenagers will be bombarded with lots of different social issues. And I want to provide you some tips and tricks for how best to talk about these issues with your teens and tweens. If you're here live, say hello in the chat. I love to know who I'm talking to out there. If you're watching the replay, let us know with hashtag replay and introduce yourself. And if you have any questions, comments, live or replay throughout the discussion, go ahead and drop them in. And I will hopefully have a chance to come back and answer as many of those as possible. So, all right. Today we're going to, like I said, cover lots of different social issues from depression and anxiety, peer pressure, social media, with a goal to equip you with tools to understand and support your teenager. So we are going to start off with just depression and anxiety. Some staggering statistics. Depression and anxiety, they're common among teenagers, as we know. 70% of teens identify these as major problems amongst themselves or their friends. That's 7 out of 10. The National Institute of Mental Health reports that 13% of teens experience a major depressive episode before the age of 18. And that's just staggering to me. So, of course, as a parent or a caregiver, it's important to be vigilant about the signs of depression and anxiety in your teenager. They can manifest from withdrawal from social activities, changes in sleeping and eating patterns, sleeping too much, too little, a decline in academic performance, expressing feelings of hopelessness or worthlessness. The big one that I notice a lot is that loss in activities they used to enjoy, not wanting to go to football practice or play practice or whatever that may be. Again, changes in appetite, irritability and difficulty concentrating, short tempers and mood swings are also additional signs. So it's crucial, number one, to provide a safe and supportive environment where your teen feels comfortable expressing their feelings and letting them know that you're there just to listen without judgment, and communicate to them that seeking help is a strength, not a weakness. I know nowadays that mental health stigma is becoming less and less, especially with people like Michael Phelps and Simone Biles and Naomi Osaka talking about their mental health issues. But there is still that cloud that sometimes looms over asking for help and feeling like weak because you can't do it on your own. And we need to communicate to kids that it's okay to reach out for help. And it's okay for you guys, you as parents and caregivers, to reach out for help. I want everybody to know that. All right. So that's number one, how I would talk to kids about anxiety and depression. And again, it's okay to reach out for professional help. A therapist or a counselor can better assess your teen's mental health, and then they can recommend appropriate treatment options, whether it be more of a therapeutic route or more of a medication route. But early intervention is going to be key to addressing and curbing some of these symptoms. The next social issue we're talking about today is bullying. Again, I'm going to throw some statistics at you because bullying remains a pervasive problem. It affects millions of teenagers worldwide. And in the digital age, we all know that cyberbullying has become particularly prevalent. 60% of teenagers report that they've been bullied or harassed online. And that can be spreading rumors, posting embarrassing photos or videos, sending threatening messages. Lately, I've been watching the series Cobra Kai on Netflix, and a lot of that centers around bullying in teenagers. And it's just sad to see that. And I know that media exaggerates things, but it's prevalent and kids are facing it. And again, they feel they need to go it alone. So again, ways to talk to your teen. It comes back to that open communication, creating a safe space so your teen can share their experiences. And again, without judgment, without ridicule. And then discuss some strategies for coping. Talk to your teen about what they can do if they witness it or experience it. Because even if they're not experiencing it themselves, they may be a witness or know somebody that's experiencing it. And it could include things like blocking bullies online, reporting the behavior to a trusted adult, or practicing and rehearsing assertiveness skills so they can stand up for themselves. That middle one is really important, though. Emphasize the importance of reporting to a trusted adult, a teacher, a school counselor, because the schools need to be and should be doing something about this. And then teach empathy and kindness to your teen. The impact of their words and actions on others. And again, offline and online, their words and their behaviors have consequences. Whether they may not be, again, personally involved, but they may be a witness, and that has consequences too. And it's okay to stay involved in your teen's online life. Yes, they need some semblance of privacy, but you're still that parent. Make sure you know what social media platforms they're on, who they interact with, what kind of content they're exposed to. And then be a role model in your own interactions on and offline. Set that positive example for your teens to follow. All right. And keep in mind, bullying is never the victim's fault. Again, open communication, coping strategies, promoting empathy. That empowers your teen to navigate the challenge of bullying and to build resilience in themselves. The third social problem or dilemma we're going to talk about is sexual activity. Again, some statistics to throw at you. There has been a positive trend of declining teen pregnancy rates and sexually transmitted infections, even though that remains a concern. Half of the new STI cases occur among young people between the ages of 15 and 24. So the importance of comprehensive sexual education and open communication about safe sex practices. I know that may be a hot button for some parents and caregivers out there. Personally, I believe it's important to arm our teens with whatever they need to navigate these situations. And if that means condoms and birth control, beyond abstinence, that's what we need to do. And again, those open, honest conversations, non-judgmentally, where your teen feels comfortable talking about sex in their relationships. Avoid lecturing, avoid shaming, and give them empathy and understanding. And make sure we're providing them with accurate information about contraception, safe sex practices, the risks of unprotected sex. We want to make sure that any myths or misinformation they may have heard from online or from peers or anything like that is dispelled with the facts. And encouraging questions and dialogue. Keep that conversation and that pathway open, and it's a two-way street. And again, answer questions honestly. Of course, using age-appropriate language, but we want to be honest and direct with our teens and tweens. We also want to respect their privacy. Yes, it's important. Again, it's important for you to be involved, but avoid sneaking around, looking in diaries. Let them know you're available to talk, but also give them the space to be able to explore on their own and be healthy with it. And again, emphasize those healthy relationships. Talk about things like consent and communication and boundaries in a respectful relationship. And again, if you're uncomfortable discussing these things or need support, seeking resources from a doctor, a therapist, a guidance counselor. Of course, online, there's many resources available out there as well. We want to empower our teens to make informed decisions about their sexual health and well-being. Moving on to drug and alcohol use. Again, we've seen some positive trends in the decline of certain drug use. Underage drinking is still a major significant concern, however. 30% of high school seniors report consuming alcohol within the past month. So again, ongoing education and intervention regarding drug and alcohol use. Again, illicit drug use has declined, but vaping and prescription medication use has gone up. So again, staying informed about current trends in teen substance use is going to be important for the adults in their lives. Again, tip number 1 is open and honest communication and conversations. I hate to keep harping on this, but this is the cornerstone of having that relationship with your teenager, creating that safe space, and share your own experiences and your own values. And again, avoid being judgmental or accusatory. Again, provide accurate information about physical, emotional, social consequences. Discuss the impact on the brain, on possible academic performance, on relationships, on future opportunities. Be in the know. Again, you can get information online from doctors, from therapists, from counselors. And then bring in the discussion healthy coping mechanisms, healthy ways for kids to manage stress, anxiety, and peer pressure. Rehearse ways to say no and to be assertive and advocate for yourself. Some of these healthy coping mechanisms may also include things like exercise, mindfulness, creative outlets, talking to a trusted friend or adult who kind of has the same values and beliefs that you do. And then have them explore alternative activities for their energy and creativity. Sports, art, music, volunteering, clubs, organizations. There's so many out there nowadays. And then obviously, we need to be role models. We need to model responsible behavior around drugs and alcohol and substances. Because again, kids are great observers. They watch what we do. They're not great interpreters. So we need to make sure that we're modeling and being that positive, powerful influence for our teens. Okay, just checking in on comments. All right. Looks like we're good to move on to obesity. Childhood obesity has reached alarming levels in the United States. 20%. So 1 out of 5 adolescents 12 to 19 is currently classified as obese. And of course, we all know this impacts their immediate well-being, but also puts them at a higher risk later in life for chronic health issues, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, cancer. So many things, risks go along with that. So promote healthy eating habits as a family. Make it a family affair. Cook meals together. Involve your kid in meal planning and grocery shopping. Have them pack their lunch with healthy options. Limiting sugary drinks and processed foods in the home. Things like soda and juice. As well, again, those high processed foods and sugar and salts. Have things like water, milk, fresh fruits and veggies available. Encouraging that regular activity. Try for 60 minutes a day. Sports, dancing, biking, swimming, playing outside. And again, make it a family affair. Go for a walk after dinner as a family. Go play a game of basketball in the driveway, whatever that may be. And help your teen to set some realistic, achievable goals for healthy eating and exercise. And celebrate the successes, those small wins, because these are huge challenges. And then again, it goes back to our behavior. Our own habits and choices have that powerful influence. So we want to model a healthy lifestyle. Eating nutritious foods, exercising regularly, prioritizing sleep, positive, healthy choices. And limiting screen time. Again, not just for your teen, but for yourself as well. Engage in physical activities or hobbies instead. Another problem teens face, again, since we're going back to school, is academic issues. Again, high school dropout rates have been declining, yay, but they're still significant. And of course, we all know the consequences of dropping out, impacting future earning potential, career opportunities, and just overall quality of life. So stay actively involved in your teen's education. Attend parent conferences. I was always so embarrassed when my mom attended conferences in middle school and high school. And now I realize that she was just doing that to support me and to be active and taking an interest and to show that she cares. Review grades, review assignments. It's so easy now with the online portals. Stay in communication with teachers and guidance counselors. And show your teen that you value their education. And then create a positive home environment. Give them a quiet, well-lit space to study, encouraging them to develop good study habits. Create a schedule with them. Set goals for their studying and include breaks. Include those physical breaks, those snack breaks, those brain breaks. If necessary, offer help with homework for your teen. If you can, guide them through the process. Help them develop healthy problem-solving skills, or reach out to a trusted friend or tutor or teacher who can help them if you are unable to do so. Celebrate those achievements, even small ones. Encourage their effort and their progress. And address struggles early because it snowballs. One missed assignment then eventually turns into 2, which turns into 6. And before you know it, it's hard to make that up. So address struggles early. And again, like I said, the process, not just the outcome. Help them develop a love of learning and a growth mindset, encouraging their effort and encouraging their progress, the small wins. And make sure your teen knows your expectations for academic performance. However, being realistic with their abilities as well, and understanding and empathetic. All right. Peer pressure is a big one nowadays. We all have been in adolescence, and we know it's a powerful force. It leads to risky behaviors, including some we've already talked about: substance abuse, sexual activity, self-harming. Teens who feel pressure from their peers, of course, are more likely to engage in these behaviors, even if they know they're harmful to them. So, help your child to build self-esteem. Help them develop a strong inner sense of self-worth and confidence. It makes them less likely to succumb to peer pressure. Yes, adolescence is a time where we're figuring out who we are and struggling to find our identity. However, if we have strong values, and that starts with the family, strong family values, and having these conversations around sex and alcohol and mental health issues and bullying, it gives your child that internal motivation to have confidence in themselves. And then just teach decision-making and problem-solving skills to your teen. Help them make informed and responsible decisions, weighing the pros and cons, considering the consequences, and then weighing it against, again, their values and their priorities personally. And practice saying no. Role play scenarios where they get to assertively say no. This will help them feel comfortable when the time comes. And again, know who your teen is hanging out with. Encourage them to choose friends who share their values, respect their choices, positive peer influences. And then be a supportive listener. I know we've come back to this one a lot, but create that safe space where they can share their concerns and what's going on. And then again, modeling healthy behavior, demonstrating healthy decision-making, assertiveness, and self-respect for us shows our teen that, looking out and being and caring for yourself is important and a priority. All right, we have a couple left here. Next, we're going to talk about social media. And we all know that teens are immersed in the digital world. About 9 hours a day are spent on devices. And again, it comes back to cyberbullying, unrealistic body image, inappropriate content, potential screen addiction. It's changed social interactions and hinders, in my opinion, the development of critical interpersonal skills. So it's okay to set clear boundaries and expectations for screen time and social media use. It's okay to set time limits. It's okay to have tech-free zones like device-free dinners, or study time is device-free, other than like the computer they need to do the work on, which is hard. I understand that. But keep the phone away, keep the tablet away, and then have those conversations about how to strike that balance. Encourage your teen to have face-to-face interactions with the world, participating in activities. Again, family meals, sporting events, clubs and activities at school, promoting those offline activities, art, music, reading, volunteering. We already talked about this a little bit. Monitor their online activity. Know what platforms they use. Talk to them about potential dangers. Putting parental controls on if necessary. Discussing the online risks. And then it comes back to being a good role model. Modeling good device and social media use yourself. On-screen violence, again, social media, TV shows, video games. The kids' exposure to on-screen violence has skyrocketed recently. So again, it's important to limit their exposure. The ratings are on video games and TV shows for a reason. Be aware of those. Discussing the impact of violence with your teen and the negative impacts of violent media. And encourage them to think critically about the media they consume. Help them analyze the messages in the violent content and the potential consequences of violence in real life. Just this week we had another school shooting, and I'm not saying that on-screen violence is directly linked to school shootings, but we want kids to be aware and to critically think about what they're watching and suggest alternative entertainment, documentaries, educational programs, family-friendly movies, nonviolent video games. And then, of course, be mindful of your own media consumption and limit your own exposure to violence and model healthy choices. And our last social issue here is body image and eating disorders. Again, they're alarmingly common among teenagers. A significant percentage of teens experience body dissatisfaction fueled by unrealistic beauty standards portrayed in the media, leading to unhealthy eating habits, excessive dieting, and even eating disorders. So promote positive body image in your teen. Again, focusing on that self-acceptance, appreciating their unique qualities, celebrating their strengths, and not comparing themselves to others. And focus on things like health, not weight. Emphasize nutritious foods, regular exercise, adequate sleep for healthy minds and bodies. Talk to your teen about the unrealistic standards portrayed in the media. And again, help them develop critical thinking skills to recognize and hopefully reject these harmful messages. Promoting balanced meals and snacks in your home. And again, avoid labeling good and bad. Focus on moderation and balance. And being a positive role model yourself. Avoid making negative comments about your own body and your own appearance. So then talking about these issues, we mentioned some of these before, but create a safe space where your teen feels comfortable expressing their thoughts or feelings. Utilize active listening, avoid judgment, listen, give them your undivided attention, turn off the TV, put your phone on airplane mode, and then validate their feelings. Even if you don't agree with their perspective, validate their emotions. It sounds like you're feeling really stressed out, or it sounds like that's difficult for you. I understand why you're upset. This builds trust and rapport. Then set boundaries and expectations. That's okay. Communicate your family's values on some of these issues and your rules regarding substance use, sexual activity, online behavior. Discuss consequences for breaking those rules. And again, though, do so calmly, without threats or ultimatums. Just, this is our family. These are our values, and these are the consequences for breaking the rules. Remember, we're guiding, not lecturing. So ask open-ended questions. What do you think the consequences of that should be or might be? How do you think that choice aligns with your values or our family's values? And then let them know you're there to help them find solutions and access resources. Connect them with counselors, therapists, support groups. Choose the right time and place for these difficult conversations. Not when you're running short on time, not when emotions are running high. Find a calm, private setting where you can both focus on the discussion. And again, be patient and understanding. Teens' brains are still developing, and so is their communication and their decision-making skills. So again, that open communication, clear expectations, guidance instead of lectures builds that strong relationship. So your teens will be comfortable talking with you about anything. So we have gone through the 10 points here. And yeah, I wonder if there's any questions out there. I'm happy to take those. Again, if you're watching the replay, let me know with #replay, and I will come back and answer any questions. Stay tuned for next week's Facebook Live. I'm not sure what the topic is, but I'm sure it'll be a good one. And remember, you're doing a great job as a parent, and wherever you are in your day, hug your child, make it a great one.